What movie do you enjoy that you will 100% agree is a bad movie? Van Helsing. It's Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale, all of the glory days of 2004. It's got a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes, 0.6 on IMDb, but there's something about the dry jokes smattered in what's supposed to be high-tension scenes, or scenes of sexual tension. The special effects aren't the greatest, but at the same time it also adds to the experience. The Core. I'm paraphrasing here, but there's a portion in the movie where everyone says it can't be done. But one guy takes a drag on a cig and says, "But what if we could?" The entire movie progresses on that point. Without a Paddle. Fucking hilarious, and also dumb as hell. Deep Blue Sea. I mostly enjoy that one unexpected scene. Check it out. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's so much fun and I love the Nautilus. Eurotrip. However, I feel conflicted about calling this movie bad, as I personally feel it was unfairly ignored by the Oscar committee. Scotty Doesn't Know. You Kissed Your Sister. Club Vandersex. Fiona. The Core. Terrible movie, lack of science or logic, but I just find it so gripping. Batman Robin is certainly a bad movie. I love it so much. It's worth watching for Arnold and his puns alone. But the whole movie is just campy fun. The Super Mario Bros. Live action movie. Don't care, love it. Gone in 60 Seconds. Say what you will, but I can watch this every day. The Day After Tomorrow. It's bad, 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 but such a fun watch. It's so cold, absolutely nothing can survive out there. Also, be careful of the wild wolf pack. Dude, Where's My Car? Edit. Zoltan. Palm down hand. Leftwards hand. Edit 2. Surprised no one has quoted I'm gonna have to confiscate yo, pinky yet. Street Fighter with Raul Julia as Bison and Kylie Minogue as Cammy. Oh, and a Samoan bloke as E. Honda, because 90s. The Highlander. That movie goes all the way around. It's so bad that it's great. They need to cut people's head off. Why? 'Cause it's awesome. Sean Connery in his world-famous Scottish accent plays the Egyptian. Why? Because the French guy is playing the Highland Scot, of course. Okay, this sounds like it's going to be a disaster. Who's going to do the soundtrack? Queen. Fucking Queen. I bet some shit they already released and money grab songs. Oh no, they go for it, like some of their best songs are written just for that movie. Okay, fuck it, I'm in. Armageddon. It is a shit Michael Bay movie that makes no sense and has scenery chewing all over, and I am there for every minute of it. Accepted. It's terrible and hilarious, has Justin Long at the peak of his teen movie years, and features Louis Black as a version of himself as a jaded professor. So good. The Faculty. It's cheesy, and some parts are almost laughable. But it's a fun watch and I love it. Ghost Ship. Kung Pao. Enter the Fist. Fool's Gold. It's a dumb movie that makes no sense, but for some reason I go back and watch it at least once a year and enjoy it every time. Blades of Glory is so good. House Bunny. Joe Dirt. Such a dumb movie, but still makes me laugh. Early Van Damme movies. They're awful, but I've seen them all multiple times. Give me a Kickboxer Double Impact double feature and I'll be there to watch that garbage. Hackers. Hack the Planet. Tokyo Drift. Arguably debated as the start of the franchise's downfall, but one of my favorites despite that. Balls of Fury. Ernest Scared Stupid. But any of the Ernest movies will do. XXX. The Cutting Edge. The Waterboy. Encino Man. Center Stage. Anaconda. When I was 10 to 11 years old, I went and saw Anaconda in the theater with my two best friends, and we got in an argument afterwards about how many anacondas were in the movie. They both insisted there was only one anaconda in the movie, and I said no way, there were like 7 anacondas. I'm not sure how many there actually were. but 7 was too much to claim and they both started laughing. We all went to jump on the trampoline in the backyard and they kept making fun of me for saying 7 anacondas. I tried to backtrack like, well, there was at least more than one. And they were like, you said 7. I started getting pissed off. So I went to sit on the side of the trampoline to pout. But I sat too far to the edge and tumbled off backwards, landing in the dirt and bushes in a backwards somersault that must have been hilarious to see. This pissed me off even more, and now my friends were collapsed with laughter rolling around on the trampoline. So I picked up a rake laying in the yard and started trying to swing it at them, but they were on the trampoline and easily jumped out of my reach. The more they laughed, the angrier I became, but I couldn't reach them with the rake. The angrier I got, the funnier it became for them, and they could barely speak from laughing so hard. Of course I should have just joined in the laughter and let it go, but I was not going to admit I was wrong at this point. I think I threw the rake in the woods and stormed off, continuing to insist there were 7 anacondas and calling them idiots. We're now 37 years old, and to this day whenever the three of us get together someone will mention 7 anacondas. So yeah, I hate that fucking movie and will never watch it again. I don't need to, because I know there were 7 anacondas. Biodome. I love every minute of it. Flash Gordon was released in 1980, but re-released this year in 4K. Bad, but in the best way. And that Queen soundtrack. National Treasure. Classic Nick Cage delivering lines in a way that is suspect at best, but damn if I don't love it so much. I always thought this was actually a good movie. National Treasure is not a bad movie, lol. Constantine is my favorite movie, but everyone I make watch it says it's so bad. The Twilight Saga is my guilty pleasure. I know they are terrible, but you gotta admit they have great meme-able quotes. Night at the Roxbury. I loved Roadhouse, but pretty bad. The entire Fast and Furious franchise is just an over-the-top action wet dream, but I love it. It's like when you were a kid playing with toy cars and action figures, but with a $20 million budget. Battleship. It's a generic action disaster movie, but when Thunderstruck starts playing I always get pumped.